A crossover of any sorts can be oh so satisfying, but when video games crossover, there's an added bonus of playability that makes fans of these major franchises get real giddy. Who doesn't want to play side by side with multiple of your favorite gaming icons? Over the years, the industry has pumped out several titles that have given fans what they wanted in terms of collaborations, but there's also been a whole lot of questionable crossovers too, and sometimes, even when they're bad, we still love them. So today we're taking a bigger look at them with our list of the top 10 video game crossovers. Starting us off in at number 10, Sonic and AllStars Racing. Regardless of the fact that a Sonic racing game that takes place in race cars is kind of redundant as far as the Blue Blur Speedster is concerned, Sega released a game back in 2010. It was called Sonic and AllStars Racing, and it featured a bunch of Sega characters also joining Sonic's anthropomorphic and robotic pals for some racing shenanigans. On top of that, Sega also crammed in some properties that it didn't own but were licensed for the game, including characters from Football Manager, Team Fortress 2, and Shogun Total War. As you can tell, those are kind of slightly weird choices that felt like the game was overcompensating. Regardless, those who are fans of the Sonic franchise generally really enjoyed the game, along with its follow-up, the much better Sonic and AllStars Racing Transformed, which at least added some other mechanics to the title to spice it up. Mortal Kombat vs. the DC Universe. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe is, well, quite obviously, if the title didn't give it away, a crossover between Mortal Kombat and the DC Universe. It's a fighting game, published by Midway Games in 2008, right before the company went bankrupt. The story is as follows. In their respective universes, Raiden and Superman are fighting off invasions that trigger the merging of Shao Kahn and Darkseid, creating Dark Kahn. The villain causes the universes themselves to merge, an event that will ultimately destroy them both. Despite the slightly odd pairing of universes, the game did receive fairly decent reviews, being called surprisingly enjoyable and fun, despite its ludicrous content. Many see this title though as a decade-late response to the Marvel vs. Capcom game, which is kinda hard to get over. In number 8, Battletoads Double Dragon. This 1993 beat-em-up crossover developed by Rare is one of the more ludicrous and earlier video game crossovers ever. Featuring Billy and Jimmy Lee from Double Dragon and all three of the humanoid Toad characters from Battletoads, players could choose to play as one of those 5 protagonists in a game that was very similar to Battletoads in mechanics. It's a side-scroller that features a boss at the end of every level that you must defeat. Funny enough, despite being super bizarre, the game got rave reviews, and was even nominated for a bunch of awards at the Nintendo Power Awards. Moving on to number 7, Soul Calibur 2. Soul Calibur 2 isn't as much of a crossover game as it is a game that features some pretty stellar characters from other universes making exclusive appearances. Now depending on what console you were playing it on, you got an exclusive character specific to that console. For example, if you're playing on GameCube, it was Link from The Legend of Zelda. For the PS2 is Tekken Star Heihachi, and for the Xbox it was Spawn. Xbox didn't have a whole lot of exclusive characters back then. Now each of these characters were specifically crafted to fit into the Soul Calibur world, rather than just being tossed in for marketing's sake, and were even given their own stories in the game's main campaign. That detail went a long way. The game got rave reviews and even won the Fighting Game of the Year from the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, and the award for the most addictive game from the Game Awards' predecessor, the Spike Video Game Awards, back in 2002. In at number 6, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle. One of the more recent games on our list, Kingdom Battle is a turn-based tactical RPG. It was co-developed by Nintendo and Ubisoft, and features their respected properties Mario and Raving Rabbids. You play as Mario, his pals, and Rabbids dressed up as Mario and his friends, all while dealing with an invasion of a group of Rabbids who have accidentally used a powerful invention to wreak chaos across the Mushroom Kingdom. The game received a lot of positive reviews and it even won a handful of awards and nominations, including Best Strategy Game in IGN's Best of 2017 awards. And at number 5, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. All-Stars Battle Royale was PlayStation's attempt at creating a crossover fighting game in the similar vein as another certain gaming giant Star franchise, one that we'll be talking about a little later on. This game though, which came out in 2012, features the likes of various characters from PlayStation exclusives and titles, including Kratos, Nathan Drake, Dante from Devil May Cry, Raiden from Metal Gear, Sly Cooper, Ratchet & Clank, and Heihachi from Tekken. The game had mixed reviews with critics praising its fighting and multiplayer mechanics, but ultimately feeling it felt short in terms of content and poor cutscenes, and that the roster of characters were chosen purely for marketing purposes, rather than their appropriateness for a fighting title. I mean, Nathan Drake can sure kick butt in Uncharted, but he doesn't really seem like the kind of fella you'd pin up against Kratos now, does he? And at number 4, Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Mario and Sonic. Two video gaming icons that have always been rivals. Sonic was actually created by Sega in order to compete with the success that Nintendo was having with Mario. So naturally a rivalry occurred, not only between the two icons but between the fans. Now that rivalry was slightly put to rest when it was announced that a Mario and Sonic crossover game would be coming out, featuring characters from both famous franchises. And it's Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. The game was a hit amongst fans, and it resulted in many other Olympic sequel games too, based on whatever Olympics were going on at the time. But ask any Mario or Sonic fan who is better and they'll probably still tell you that their favorite is. So much for burying the hatchet there. And at number 3, the Marvel vs. Capcom franchise. The first Marvel vs. Capcom game came out in 1996, initially starting off as a coin-operated arcade game, and it was called X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Later, it would venture over to consoles, allowing players to fight with characters from the Marvel Comics universe and characters from Capcom's roster of properties with its other sequel games. Now, rather than just single combat, the series used a tag team style of battle, where players formed teams of 2 or 3 characters, controlling one at a time, but with the option to switch out. There has been a total of 7 titles in the franchise, all of which have earned generally positive reviews, minus the earlier game's PlayStation ports, which suffered from a decline in frame rate and animation quality due to the original PlayStation having RAM limitations. Aside from that, they're really fun games. And at number 2, Kingdom Hearts. From one franchise to the next, let's move on to Kingdom Hearts, Disney and Square Enix's collaboration RPG crossover. Kingdom Hearts takes place in a fictional universe tailored specifically to the narrative of the games. With over 15 years of games, the series' emphasis on the power of friendship is one of the reasons why it's so successful. They boast themes that are incredibly relevant to the Final Fantasy and Disney properties that appear within the franchise, making it easier for the narratives to connect everyone together. Plus that the narratives are, particularly written for the games kinda goes a long way instead of, just cramming stuff in. Kingdom Hearts 3, which will be released in 2019, is the latest addition to the franchise, and it includes the likes of Final Fantasy characters, Toy Story characters, Pirates of the Caribbean characters, Disney classics like Donald Duck and Goofy, characters from Monsters Inc., Frozen, Hercules, Tangled, Big Hero 6, Winnie the Pooh, The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, Wreck-It Ralph, and many more. Plus the series protagonist Sora will be back too. And finally, in at number 1, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Super Smash Bros. Is the ultimate crossover video game franchise. No pun intended. But its latest title, Ultimate, really emphasizes that by including every single character that has ever been featured as a fighter in the entire Smash series. Now this is by far one of the greatest games created for the Nintendo Switch. It's complex, and developers have spent a whole lot of time paying attention to the details, and specifically tweaking, nerfing, and buffing every single character in order to ensure the quality of the game is exceptional. It's also upped its game by making everything faster, from speeding up various aspects of the battles, like the final smashes and taunts, so the emphasis of the game is more offensive rather than defensive, and doesn't lag during any moments. There's a total of 74 playable fighters in the game, with new ones coming from series like Castlevania, Pokemon, Splatoon, Donkey Kong, Street Fighter, Metroid, and more. Plus with DLCs, more stages and characters will be revealed, meaning the game has a very promising future in terms of replayability. Alright, there we have it friends, which of these crossovers is your favorite? What other ones should we have included on our list? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know your thoughts. Speaking of comments, we're gonna read off a few from one of our previous videos, the top 10 alternate versions of Pikachu. From Sonic Fan 17, no Detective Pikachu? Well, we wanted to leave some options open if we ended up doing a part 2 of this list, but Detective Pikachu was definitely on our minds when we put together this one. From Chaz DiBianco, Ash's Pikachu is freaking OP. That is very correct, my friend. The stuff it gets away with in the anime and in the films is sometimes absolutely insane. But maybe it's all because the power of friendship.
Oh my god!
The Zygardian Trio says, cosplay Pikachu caused the Mandela effect. That is, Pikachu has a black tail. Yep. Now for those of you who are like, whoa, wait, what? Pikachu doesn't have a black tail? Go Google Pikachu right now. Little dude has a yellow tail with some brown at its base. Side note guys, while we're on the topic of Pikachu, take a look at this golden brush-tail possum. Doesn't it look exactly like Pikachu, and isn't it the cutest thing ever? Sorry, I've just been holding that in for a while, and Pikachu's topical right now, so Alright friends, there we have it. If you guys dug this video, spread the love, hit that like button, and be sure to subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for all of your gaming list needs. In the meantime though, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one.